Listeners and viewers, on a day where the Delhi traffic could not be any worse and where the pollution levels of Delhi are actually soaring as we speak, I'm very envious of our special guest today because she's far away from New Delhi, but her heart beats for India and also from UAE because that is where her allegiance is, and rightly so. Chaya Mughal in a special conversation with CaughtatPoint, where me, Dev Tyagi, and my fellow podcaster, who's not Pranay today, but Prashant Ji, join us for a new episode. And it gives us enormous pleasure to have Chaya on the show. Um, I'll quickly try and tell you about a mesmerizing career in less than 10 seconds. Chaya happens to be the captain of the UAE women's cricket team. She's as popular as she's inspirational. She's as courageous as she's a simpleton. Chaya, welcome to Correct Point. How are you today? What's up?
Absolutely awesome. After getting this introduction in a short span of like 10 or 15 seconds, it's really making me happy to know so much about me. When you're just progressing in your life, you tend to forget something and you leave it behind. But then this sort of recognition when somebody's telling you, it gives me a sense of satisfaction and happiness. So thank you very much, Mr. Dev, for having me. And Mr. Prashant, thank you so much for welcoming me on this platform today.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure, Chaya. So, Chaya, very quickly, I will jump into the main aspect of today's discussion. Me and Prashant, we were very keen to discuss the not so happy World Cup final with you, and not just the World Cup final, but World Cup tournament and all from an India perspective largely. So, my first question to you, Chaya, is, and trust me, I'm not going to put you in a spot of bother, but were you surprised with the outcome, or did you feel that okay, it's fine, it happens? What do you have to say?
Well, I think like any Indian fan, I would say that all of us were expecting, the result to be in our favor. But things do happen on a given day. I was prepared for both because being a sports player, I know the extent to which sports can go. And cricket being the most unpredictable game, you can't predict the result at the very beginning of the game. You can have your favorites, you can do a lot of things about it, but then you can't predict who's going to win the match. It is on a given day, whichever team plays their best cricket, they are going to win. So cricket is a very harsh game, I would say. One has to win, one has to lose. So unfortunately, it was India this time, who couldn't just cross over the line that all of us were hoping and expecting for.
Right. Prashantji, over to you for your question.
Yeah. What I want to ask you from Chaya is that, over the years, we have seen that India playing very well right throughout the tournament. What it happens to India, and you said it rightly that cricket is a cruel game and everyone should be ready for both the result. You never know about this game. But what one thing India is lacking, that they are really faltering at the end, the final, for winning such big tournaments.
Well, I wouldn't say, they're lacking anything because reaching at this platform at this stage,
Yeah.
unbeaten throughout the tournament, and then, they were like on the top of every team. It's not like they haven't beaten Australia before or any other stronger team. They have done it previously. And, as I said, it's not something that they are lagging, but then it's I would say it's sort of the mental game that needs to be played on a given day rather than the physical sport. It's very, very important. So being a sports person, I can very much relate to it, on a bigger platform, on a bigger day. When the final is going on, there are nerves. You won't go the same way as you're going on the other occasions. Even though you're on the top. I remember myself when we were playing a series, we were unbeaten throughout the tournament, and we were going to play the finals, and the teams were same. The composition was same, the opponents were same. But then, the moment I got up on that day, I could feel something is different today. I was feeling a little bit more pressure, even though I didn't show it on my face, but then it's there in the back of our mind. So carrying that extra burden with yourself on that particular day, I would feel, it's just the mental toughness that is required, wherein I would say that there were a lot of expectation. The whole India was expecting it. There were crowds cheering it from all the corners of the world. And imagine those 11 players who stood out in the middle of that day, how much, I won't say pressure, but then they certainly would be feeling some sort of
The
nerves
weight of
on their sides,
expectation.
Yes,
weight
the
of it.
weight of it, yes, there may be few players who can overcome it, but then overall, it's a team that has to go together. So I would say that it's something that needs to be strengthened. If something has to be worked on, it could be the mental aspect of it. Yeah.
Right. So shall I jump into the next question? So we saw some remarkable performances, but obviously from the likes of everybody's favorite Virat Kohli, and why not? He's such a humongous talent, and probably even humongous is an understatement for some of us. Rohit Sharma was in form. The campaign started on a sour note for Shubman Gill because उनको शुरू में तबीयत खराब हो गई थी. He had to miss out the
Yes.
first game. Also, interestingly, against Australia, whose jersey I'm wearing. No, not exactly the color, but yeah, there was some performances. But I have just this question. It's just a harmless question. Ravi Chandran Ashwin, could he have been played more games than just? I mean, he hardly played.
Yes, well, I think
Were you surprised
मुझे
with that?
ऐसा कहीं ना कहीं लगता था. मुझे ऐसा कहीं ना कहीं लगता था जब भी टीम्स अनाउंस होती थी. The first thing I wanted to see was Ravi Chandran Ashwin playing at least some games out there, because the kind of experience he's having, and bowling on the Indian wickets and the pitches, he's having an absolute record. He could have been right somewhere. कहीं ना कहीं अगर उनको मौका दिया जाता तो मुझे लगता है ऐसा नहीं कह सकते कि रिजल्ट शायद अलग होते, लेकिन ऑन द सेम साइड. नाउ सी, आफ्टर वी लूज, वी सर्टनली आर गोइंग टू से काश ये कर दिया होता, काश वो कर दिया होता, राइट. ये चीज हमेशा होएगी. लेकिन मैं हमेशा उस तरीके से देखना चाहती थी कि रविचंद्रन अश्विन भी अपनी टीम में एक जगह बनाते, जहां पे हर स्पिनर्स बाकी टीम्स के डोमिनेट कर रहे थे, और हमारे स्पिनर्स भी बीइंग ऑन द साइड की एशियन विकेट्स आर मोस्ट स्पिनिंग ट्रैक्स, और हमारे यहाँ पे स्पिन हो भी रहा था. तो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा लगता है कि उनको मौका दिया जा सकता था, और इतने बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म पे एक एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर का होना बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस क्रिएट कर सकते थे.
Right, right. Prashant ji, over to you.
On Ashwin?
No, on any other question.
Yeah,
Anything that comes to you.
I just want to ask you, Dave and Chaya, the way Afghanistan played, they defeated England, Pakistan, and the way below par performance by Bangladesh. Can we say that the team like Netherlands and Afghanistan have improved, and we can say that they are far better team than the Bangladesh who got the test status way back in 2000?
Chaya, why don't you go?
Yeah, definitely, it wouldn't be out to say that Afghanistan have played their brilliant cricket there, but at the same time, I won't even say that Bangladesh is superior to them or inferior to them. It would not be right to say at this time. Obviously, Afghanistan, they are really working hard. You could see it from their body language, from the cricket that they have started playing. Earlier, Afghanistan, आप सिर्फ अफगानिस्तान टीम को जाने जाते थे उनके स्पिनिंग ट्रैक की वजह से, उनके स्पिन अटैक की वजह से, उनके राशिद खान की वजह से. बट नाउ इन दिस वर्ल्ड कप वी हैव सीन how the batters are batting, brilliantly. They have played the fearless cricket, I would say, and this fearless cricket have, अपने अगर हम हिस्ट्री से देखा जाए तो the moment they started playing cricket, I remember against UAE also they have played lot of cricket against UAE men's team, and there was a time when they started playing and UAE was beating them, they were thrashing them like anything. But then how they have reached, इतने कम टाइम में एक इस जगह से, जबकि आप वहां पे पहुंच जाते हो जहां पे आप इंग्लैंड टीम को डिफेंड कर रहे हो, आप उनको हरा भी रहे हो, और मतलब कि ये एक अमेजिंग चीज है जो उन्होंने एक एग्जाम्पल सेट कर दिया हमारे सामने कि हार्ड वर्क, देयर इज नो अदर शॉर्टकट टू सक्सेस देन हार्ड वर्क के अलावा अगर आप आगे बढ़ना चाहते हो वो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. अफगानिस्तान टीम ने ये प्रूव कर दिया है, और एट द सेम टाइम हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि बांग्लादेश या श्रीलंका उनसे इंफीरियर हो गया या उनके कंपैरेटिव में अच्छा नहीं कर रहे. इट्स जस्ट आई वुड से कि उनको थोड़ा सा और मेहनत करने की जरूरत है. दे नीड टू ब्रिंग इन द प्लेयर्स which are important for their team. उनको अपने टीम को ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस देने की जरूरत है, अच्छी टीम्स के अगेंस्ट मैचेस खेलने की जरूरत है, एंड आई एम श्योर दे विल गेट बैक देयर अगेन, सेम उनकी इमेज वापस आ सकती है. एंड ऑब्वियसली they are also the stronger team. I don't have any second thoughts about it. Yeah.
So my thoughts on Afghanistan and teams like the Netherlands are pretty simple. That And I'll just use a quick analogy on one of the books I had read 13 years back in time when I was much younger and when I had not started wearing this wig that I'm wearing. No, I'm kidding. It was actually a book, The Life of Bruce Lee. It was called Fighting Spirit. So Chaya and Prashantji, I think two teams which really epitomized fighting spirit for me were Afghanistan and the Netherlands. Afghanistan more than Netherlands, with much due respect to the Dutch, who I absolutely respect. And there are multiple reasons for it. Number one, they actually fought till the last delivery of every single campaign. Especially, if you see, their game against Pakistan, Afghanistan did not make life easy for Pakistan. And number two, and I think this is the biggest reason of them all, is that I think they stepped into this mega World Cup campaign with the thinking that कि भाई Rashid Khan is not अकेले उनके ऊपर हम क्यों बर्डन डालें. Let us also figure out कि हम लोग और क्या कर सकते हैं. तो अगर आप देखें उनके फारूकी जो उनके मीडियम फास्ट बॉलर हैं, he came to the occasion, right, and he was brilliant. You have to understand that this was an Afghanistan team which did not have Gulbadin Naib, who's such a reliable fast bowler. He's been an evergreen performer. So the team has actually kind of gone from the old vanguards of cricket. And there was Mohammad Nabi, who was in great form. And if you talk about their batting, Rahmat Shah, who was not coming in good form earlier on, he also, towards the end of the campaign, he picked up some runs. But for me, and I think Chaya and I discussed this with NewsX earlier, it was such a remarkable opportunity on NewsX for me also to be there and to share the platform with such a wonderful human being like Chaya. Chaya, you had spoken about Zadran and his batting. And
Yes.
he came beautifully. He made that, and even Gurbaz, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. So these are the two young batsmen who are rising. But that's about the Afghanistan campaign. I think the Netherlands should be very proud of what they have done. Of course, Logan Van Beek would have wanted to emerge with more wickets and more runs under his belt, but he's a fighter. And of course, very sad for, I think, the person who can be called at this point in time the Jack Callis in making for the Netherlands team. And I'm talking about their best all-rounder, right? So, I mean, the Netherlands also, they fought exceptionally well. And Scott Edwards led by an example. And Baz de Leede, of course, the Jacques Callis in making. He had some memorable knocks under his belt. He went for a massive, I think, 110 or 100 run spell of his 10 overs, but he in the camp able to bounce back very strongly. Siebrand Engelbrecht made a valiant half century. That was amazing. So the Dutch and the Afghanistan, these are two teams who really led by an example, showing the likes of their competition, by which I mean the Scotlands of the world, the Islands of the world, and Prashantji, guess what? Even our favorite team, the West Indies of the world, that how it is done.
Yeah, truly. No doubts about it. Exactly.
And I was about
Yes,
to.
I like the fighting spirit that they were having. It was amazing to see them diving in every ball, stopping every single run and making the other team, work really hard for getting the runs on board. That was truly commendable, I would say. In fact, for all the associate nations also, these teams have set an example for them that if they can do it in a short span of time, even we can do it. So there's like a hope, I would say, in that way. I could see the bigger picture, like on the bigger platform. They've created a sense of hope, a sense of accomplishment, for other teams, wherein they can also, see the example, what they have set, at this stage. We are not here to compete, but we are here to win the games. That's this example that they have set in front of others. And I really appreciate and I salute them. They have done a brilliant job there. Yeah.
Prashantji, your question.
मैं छाया जी से वही पूछना चाह रहा था कि क्या उन्होंने वेस्ट इंडीज क्रिकेट टीम को इस वर्ल्ड कप में मिस किया?
You won't believe it. The day I got to know that West Indies is not going to be a part of it, I was in tears. I just couldn't believe it for some days. That West Indies is not going to be a part of it. And at some stages, it used to be my favorite team. And knowing that it's not going to be a part of the so-called World Cup, it really shattered me. It broke my heart. And imagine how much worse all the players must be feeling about it. But at the same time, I would say it has set an example for them also. You can't take things for granted. You have to really work hard. If you want to get something, you need to work towards it. you just can't always hope that we are always there. You know, there are teams who are behind you, but they are working really hard and they're coming in front of you. And if you don't catch up, you know, they are going to go and leave you behind. So that's something that, you know, this World Cup has taught us so many lessons, I would say. And it's great to know all the facts joining together post World Cup. You know, if you summarize everything, it was a great learning lesson for each one of us.
So, Chaya, since we've just spoken about the West Indies, and I'm sure the answer from your end to my question is going to put a big smile on Prashantji's face. What are your thoughts and impressions on a man called Brian Charles Lara? Evergreen question. Go ahead. Chaya, this is for you. What are your impressions on?
This for you.
Oh my God, Brian Lara. You know, looking at his forearms, you know, I started really working hard because the way he used to flick the ball, the way he used to hit the sixes, I really started working on my forearms, and having developed those muscles, you know, I could see the changes that I could feel in my body while playing those shots. You know, it becomes so easily. And I would say at one point of time, you know, he's the one who inspired me. You know, he's the one who actually inspired me to be the batter who can just go out and back the bowlers, you know. So for me, he is holding a very special place in my life, and I've learned so many things from him, and I've watched his biographies and the videos that he has shared, and it's amazing to know about him. So, but whenever we talk about West Indies, you know, the fact that comes to my mind is Brian Lara, my favorite batter. So yeah, special place. You know, he's holding in my heart, and having not to see his team was really shattering for me.
Right. So from one man behind multiple amazing innings to one man who recently played an amazing innings, your impressions on the 201 not out played by Glenn Maxwell. Where were you? Did you watch it live? Were you busy? कहाँ पे थे आप और
No,
आपने
of course, मैं घर पे बैठी थी, and to my surprise, my mom was sitting next to me. She doesn't like to watch cricket at all. Even when I'm playing cricket, you know, I could barely remember if she watched any of my games. You know, she doesn't like it at all. But then that day, you know, she just came and she was sitting next to me. She was enjoying that game, you know, and we were talking about everything. And the best thing is that she was understanding all my points. You know, when I was jumping on my couch, when I was just walking around and I was screaming, "Oh my God, what an innings he's playing!" And that was unbelievable. You know, something that one could only imagine of. You know, that day it was done. So I very much, you know, it's still fresh in my mind when I go back and think about it. You know, that thing is like, you know, जब तुम्हारे पैर नहीं चल रहे तुमने हाथों से काम कर दिया, जब तुम्हारा हाथ नहीं चला तुमने माइंड से काम कर लिया. It was such a great thing as a human being what he has shown, you know, like तुम्हारे पास अगर एक चीज काम नहीं कर रही है, तुम्हारे पास दूसरी चीज है उसको ओवरकम करने के, अगर वो भी काम नहीं कर रही तुम उसको और भी, you know, he showed that every problem has a situation, every problem has a solution, provided you are going to unlock that thing, you know. And if you really think about it, that was like unbelievable inning for me. और अभी भी उसके replays I think पता नहीं कितनी बार देख चुके होंगे, कौन से शॉट्स उसने खेलने शुरू किए. And I think other players were also trying to imitate him, and they were also trying to place those shots, you know. And the best thing I like about him was that when he explained that, you know, gym में कुछ heavy exercises जो उसने arms की हैं, that helped him. So you know, you never know जब हम अपना workout कर रहे होते हैं कौन सी चीज हमारी कब काम में आने वाली है. You never know that. So that's why, you know, working on your fitness, working on your skills, not just for your lower body or upper body, but then as a whole, you know, when you work together as a whole for all your body parts, you know, it's definitely going to pay you back. So that's again a learning lesson that he has shown to us.
Great innings that. Prashantji, any question from your side? Next one.
First of all, lovely hearing to Chayaji.
Thank you.
On the World Cup, I can say that what I want to ask here is that, okay, we saw the likes of Bumrah, Sami, they bowl very well. And I heard Mr. Sunil Gavaskar saying that the other team haven't done anything to combat the likes of Bumrah and all. What I can say that we are from 90s, where we watched a lot of cricket from the 90s and the late 2000s. the likes of Gilchrist, the likes of Shahid Afridi, you can say Christopher Gale in his prime, they used to combat the likes of any fast bowler. I have seen in this World Cup is that batsmen from opponent. Okay, it's good for India. We are an Indian. We played very well. But whenever they try to confront the likes of Bumrah and Sami, they tend to stay in the crease. They never use their feet. They never try to be aggressive. So what I can say here is that these days players are, I won't say they are timid, but they are reluctant to use their feet to combat, whatever to disrupt their nagging line and length. Your take on that, Chayaji?
Yeah, well, I think as a batsman, if a batsman is coming out to play, the first thing in their mind is to not lose the wicket. And जब तक उनके माइंड में ये चीज रहती है ना, वो कुछ भी एक्सपेरिमेंट करने को नहीं जाते हैं. So till the time, even if I take my example, first I want to just go and get settled. So settlement होने के लिए मुझे होता है कि मैं हर बॉल अपने बैट से मिडल करूं, राइट? तो वो मिडलिंग के चक्कर में I want to protect my wicket and at the same time I just want to spend some time on the crease. अब ये टाइम स्पेंड करने के चक्कर में क्या हो रहा था, अभी बुमराह एंड शमी वर इन द टॉप ऑफ देयर गेम, राइट? उनको स्विंग मिल रहा था, उनका पेस भी अच्छा जा रहा था, एंड दे वर इन द गुड रिदम आल्सो. रिदम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड आई फील दैट from the first match itself, our Indian pacers, they were in their good rhythm. So the credit goes to their bowling unit, as a whole together. They must have practiced really well, because getting the rhythm, throughout in the team, it's very, very important. And I think this rhythm was missing in the other teams as such. It's not about pace, it's not about swing, it's not about other factor, but getting in the rhythm is something which is very, very important. तो बैट्समैन को सेटल होने के लिए जो टाइम चाहिए होता है, ठीक है, और जो उसमें वो रिस्क नहीं लेते हैं, इसी चीज का फायदा अपने बॉलर्स ने उठाया है. जहां पे जितने कम टाइम में इफ यू हैव नोटिस, जितनी जल्दी हो सकता था वो अपने विकेट्स लेने के चक्कर में थे. किसी भी बैट्समैन को सेटल होने से पहले अगर आप उसका विकेट निकाल लेते हो, दैट्स इन योर पॉकेट, राइट? एंड इट गेट्स वेरी इजी. It is very easy. If we take the example of our last game also, when Travis Head was playing, initially, he just couldn't connect any single ball. He was playing like पैर नहीं चल रहे हैं, हाथ नहीं चल रहे हैं, पैर चल रहे हैं तो बाजू नहीं चल रहे हैं, बाजू चल रहे हैं तो it was just haywire. कुछ भी coordination में नहीं हो रहा था. Yes, but then slowly, and Travis Head was also very clever. He said, अभी नहीं लग रहा है, बाद में लगेगा. मुझे I just want to stay. I just wanted to stay. He didn't take chances much, even though he was not moving his feet at all. But then slowly he gained the confidence. It's just about the timing. It's about the timing that you spend on crease, and then after that you can do whatever. You can step out, you can go deep, you can go wider, you can shuffle and play, you can do whatever you want. It's just that time जिसका फायदा अपने bowlers ने उठाया है and जिसका फायदा batters नहीं उठा सके. So that's the only thing. Yeah, in short.
Chaya, I have one last question before we move to the second and final segment of this podcast, which will be about your journey and your future plans. How important and successful or not so successful was the contribution of Mr. Dependable, the wall Rahul Dravid, for our team's campaign?
Well, I would say that this guy has made a lot of difference in the team. जिस हिसाब से उन्होंने अंडर 19 के साथ में काम करना शुरू किया था और जहां से वो टीम को लेकर आए जिस लेवल तक, I would say he's done a brilliant and a marvelous job. Nobody else would have, I won't say nobody else would have been able to do that, but then the way he has done it, it's commendable. Her player ko, you could see a different body language in them. The way they all were together, the way they all were mixing it up, the way they all were supporting each other, even after losing that big game. I know there must have been a very negative thought, a very negative emotion in the dressing room, but the way they would have overcome that thing, it must have been a great, I would say his experience that would have helped them. His calmness, I would say, his ability to cope up in difficult situations is something that he has inculcated in the team. So that kind of culture, I could see that has been changed over a period of time. So even though we are not part of it, but then as an observer, as an outsider, you can point out so many things while sitting in a room or while sitting outside the boundary line, you know. So most of the learning actually happens there. So
Right.
when you observe the games, when you watch out the culture that is being created, I would say Sir Rahul Dravid, you know, as he's known as the wall, it's like no second thought about it. And I really give my what do you say? Give my lot of what can I say? You know, अपनी बहुत सारी तारीफ उनको देना चाहती हूँ, अपनी बहुत सारी praises उनके लिए, and I really look up to him for the things that he have done. In fact, when I used to be the captain, you know, a lot of things I have learned from him that I need to uh, uh, show it to my teammates, you know, like हर चीज में aggressive होना जरूरी नहीं है. You can be calm, and through
So,
your body language, through your performance, you know, you can show it to your opponents. So that's
right.
something I've learned from Mr. Rahul Dravid, and it has really helped me in my journey.
And I would want to tell our listeners and viewers that the person who's appreciating Rahul Dravid has been no less than Miss Consistent for her team. She has a record
Mhm.
for 4 consecutive T20 international appearances.
Yes.
And so that's the humility and her modesty. So, Chaya, we would want to spend some time now to discuss about your future plans. I'm aware that recently you've gotten possibly into this role of mentoring and guiding the next generation of youngsters who are trying to find their way through to the international colors. So, how's this journey been? What exactly are you busy with at this point in time? Future mein kya plans hai? If you can share something.
Yeah, sure. Well, I just stopped playing cricket 2 months back, and you know,
Tough decision.
fortunately, there were so many messages throughout the world, people asking me why I've done it all of a sudden, you know, when we were on the verge of playing the so-called World Cup, just 2 steps away from it. And, you know, but then at a given stage, you know, when you wake up, you have that feeling in your mind, okay, now it's the time to just say goodbye, you know, and then be in the other side of the cricket now. I always say कि cricket ने मुझे इतना कुछ दिया है, अब मेरी बारी है उसको कुछ return में करने का. Right, so that day I felt like that, and I just announced it. And I was so glad that I've made this decision, because it has helped me to see the other part of the cricket, you know, wherein there are so many talented girls out here in UAE, you know, in this part of the world also cricket exists, wherein many people think that, you know, कि UAE hai, it's like the Gulf countries जहाँ पे cricket शायद ज़्यादा नहीं चलता है, but I want to make it clear to everyone कि यहाँ पे cricket बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है. And now I'm working as the women's development officer for UAE, wherein my primary role is to, you know, get the talented young female cricketers and, you know, just polish them, just work hard with them and bring up to the level wherein they can earn a spot in the national team. So I have gone through all the phases of these development part. I started playing cricket at a very young age. I would say around 8 or 9 years, when I was quite young, in Jammu and Kashmir. Well, I come from Jammu and Kashmir, a very beautiful place in India. And I started playing cricket at a very young age. I played for sub juniors and juniors, and then senior, then schools and universities. I've played all the levels of cricket, you know. And that's why I could relate myself to every individual who is coming from any background, or who is at any level of cricket they have played, be it the grassroots level or the mediate, or even the one who can play better cricket. You know, we have all sort of players, and we have divided them into different categories. That's something I'm working on now, wherein I visit a lot of schools. I'm on the talent scouting, and I'm on the talent hunting missions, you know, wherein I visit a lot of schools and colleges and universities, and I get the best, not just best, but anyone who likes to play cricket, you know, we welcome them with our wide open arms, and we tell them that you have a free coaching offered by us, you know, from Emirates Cricket Board. We offer them the free training facilities in a couple of centers in Dubai and Sharjah, wherein they can come and just train with our very elite coaches, you know. And we don't charge anything to them, and these centers are running free of cost from Emirates Cricket Board for them. So every Friday it happens on Skyline University, which is in Sharjah, and on every Sunday it happens in Glendale International School, which is in Dubai. Other than that, you know, I'm very busy in visiting a lot of schools. You know, a lot of schools, they invite me for their lot of programs that happen. I visit a lot of women's sport activities which are happening in UAE, and then I also arrange a lot of tournaments and matches for these young girls, and make them play, so that this is a platform wherein they can come and showcase their talent. That's something that they possess. Unless they don't get an opportunity, how would they show it to others? So we provide them ample opportunities to play. They play against boys, they play against girls as well. A lot of inter-school tournaments and all that stuff. I'm really really busy now. So that's normally how my schedule looks like. So
Lovely.
yeah, even now we are playing Gulf Cup. We will be playing National Day women's tournament as well. So next 10 or 15 days are quite busy.
Do you get time to sleep, rest, just sit back and?
Of course, that's my best part. When I go home, just lie down and relax.
Okay, awesome. That's incredible. Prashantji, any final questions or thoughts from your side before I wrap up? I wrap up the show.
Yeah, I just want to say that it's really great to hear from Chayaji that he's giving it back, to the uh, younger generation of women, young girls who really want to play cricket for the UAE. I just love seeing these girls diving, taking blinder of catch. Really, you can't. Women are great, no doubt about that, and they have proved in various various fields, and I really respect and hoping to meet Chaji whenever she will be in India.
Definitely, I would love to come and see you guys, and then would love to spend some more time, and talk about the experiences that I have faced so far. And then it's incredible to talk about cricket, and you can keep on and on talking about it, and there's no end to it. You can pick up one small thing and then constantly keep talking about it. You can get 100 points out of it. So cricket is, yes, the very best game that I love to play. It's very close to my heart, and I've given my heart and soul to it. And yeah, as I said, it took me like 6 years here in UAE to know that cricket even existed in UAE. So I don't want that thing to happen again with somebody else. So that's the reason why we have created a pathway for all the, yeah, for all the young girls, who want to come and play cricket. Yes, so they are welcome now, and the first point of contact for them is being me. So I'm really really glad that I'm working as a mediator between them and the Emirates Cricket Board, and making sort of like a path easier for them. And yeah, that will give me happiness. If I could get any talented girl in the national side, that would give me immense joy and happiness. So that's my work at now.
Well done. So I would like to wrap up this show by simply laying down a thought for our watchers and listeners and viewers. At a time where it is very easy to be successful for the self, it was an absolute pleasure to speak with someone who's laying down the foundation for others to find their success. And to this incredible, passionate, committed, and selfless soul, we are indebted. And it was an absolute pleasure to have you on CaughtatPoint. I also want to take the opportunity of tabling down one simple line that CaughtatPoint as a publication will always be there to cover your cricketing journey. If there is any content that you want us to develop so that we can do our bit to promote your cricketing journey, which obviously is for the betterment of others now, I consider it a source of happiness.